Hey everyone, Andy Raffel from eTeknix.com, and today we're going to be looking at the RTX 3070 from iGame, which is probably a brand that you haven't really heard of, but you may have heard of Colourful. And this is the iGame RTX 3070 Advanced OC. Let's do this. I wish these files would transfer faster. Come on! Whoa, is that the FireCuda 510 NVMe drive with its blistering fast speeds of 3450 megabytes a second read, 3200 megabytes a second write, and capacities of up to 2 terabyte? I can have these files transferred in no time. And if I'm looking for the ultimate performance, I could even get the 4th generation FireCuda 520. I better check the link in the description to find out more details. So as I mentioned, you probably, if you're in the Western world, I'm talking America, England, the United Kingdom, Europe, even sort of Australia, and that you probably haven't really heard of this brand. You may have heard of Colourful before, you may have even seen leaks of their cards, but never really been able to actually buy one. So I'm not going to talk about pricing because, to be fair, you can't technically buy this. But for anyone who's in Asia, well, yeah, this is going to be great for you because you're going to know who the brand is and you're going to know what the card is all about. But I still think it's good to sort of see what's around because there's nothing stopping brands like Colourful and iGame and whatever they're going to call themselves coming to other areas of the world and showing exactly what they can do and how they can compete with other cards on the market from the likes of MSI, Asus, Gigabyte, EVGA and so forth. So let's talk about the specs first and foremost. So just like every RTX 3070 out there, it has a boost clock speed, and this technically has two. It has a boost speed of 1725 MHz, but as soon as you press the turbo button, which is situated on the rear of the I/O, it boosts up to 1815 MHz. So a nice little jump. It's still kind of behind some of the competition like the MSI Gaming X Trio, Asus Strix cards, and many more out there, but it's, you know, better than MSRP. Not that I can tell you what an MSRP price card is compared to this and if that's really worth it, because prices are just all over the place and I really do feel for you guys at the moment. So I know there's issues with stock and things like that, and even myself, I'm getting flamed in the YouTube comments and on Twitter that what's the point in reviewing all these cards if you can't actually go out and buy one. So what does this really mean? Well, it means that when the cards are actually in stock, you're going to be able to go out and make a very well informed decision as to which one to buy because you're going to know exactly how they perform. So while it's not a great situation right now, trust me guys, things are going to get better. So let's talk about the design of the card. Well, it's definitely different, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. When I reviewed the 6800 XT from AMD, I had one little gripe with it, and that was the fact that it had red on it. And this card, well, it's no different. That middle fan has this sort of wonderful looking red shroud on there. I do wish that they kind of went for something a bit more understated, grey or black or silver, just something that it would, I don't know, tie in with a system just that little bit better. It does have some RGB effects on there, but this is a little bit of a weird one because I hate every RGB software out there equally. I don't like Aura Sync or Armory Crate. I mean, that's probably the worst because of how long it takes to install. I don't like RGB Fusion. This is no different. It's absolutely diabolical. I mean, first and foremost, you get a set of, you know, effects that you can do, but for some reason it didn't work for us for a good sort of 3 to 4 minutes. It's like it couldn't communicate with the card properly, which was a little bit of a frustration to say the least. Once we did have it working, there was only a few effects on there, and it doesn't seem like you actually have control over the colour that you actually want. So while you could do rainbow or colour cycling, which looked absolutely amazing, I'll give it that, when you wanted to do static or breath mode, and I hate, why can't they just call it breathing? When they did breath mode, well, you didn't have any control over it. It was red. You could change the brightness, you could change the speed, but that was pretty much it, which is a little bit frustrating. The good news is, even with the red on there, when the RGB is going, you can't really see it. So once it's inside your system, yeah, you're not really going to have any problems seeing the RGB, and you're not going to have any problems with that red ring. Red ring. Other than that, I mean, it keeps up with, you know, other cards on the market in terms of the cooling performance. It has a triple fan design. It's about the same size as some of its competitors out there. So what does it really mean when it comes down to cooling performance? And of course, the main reason that we're here, the overall graphical performance when it comes to rasterization, tessellation, all that jazz, as well as ray tracing, and of course, DLSS. So let's check out them glorious benchmarks. So the best thing I can do really with the results is compare this card against other similar 3070s. And the main ones that we had were from the likes of Asus. We had the MSI cards as well, like the Gaming X Trio 3070, and also a Zotac Twin Edge OC, which is kind of more of your MSRP card. Like I mentioned, I don't really want to go into pricing because it's such a minefield at the moment, but technically the Zotac should be cheaper than this, and technically the MSI should be more expensive. So with that in mind, you'd expect, and based on the specs, it should sit somewhere in between. But it was actually quite surprising. When looking at this compared to the Zotac, yes, it absolutely obliterated it in most of the tests out there. When you look at the MSI Gaming X Trio, it actually traded blows. Some tests it was ahead, some tests it was behind. So really it comes down to what kind of price you could physically get this card for, of course when stock is available. But it goes to show that there are brands out there who can compete, and that is a great thing because it gives us choice in the market, as I keep saying in all my videos, and that could potentially lead into a price war when there's stock available. So yeah, there we kind of have it. That's everything in a nutshell for this card. Not really too much to go over. The proof is in the pudding, looking at the performance results. And you can check all the performance results out in a much more kind of, refined fashion by heading over to eTeknix.com. Link is in the description below, so you can check out the full written review and you can see exactly, how this card looks in a little bit more detail at your own pace. So there you have it, guys. Let me know what you think about this card in the comments section below. And if you like this video, you know exactly what to do, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.